Holly from the Pilates Studio. Today, we want to go through a series of exercises that can help you work towards achieving the Pilates Roll Up with segmental spinal movement. The first step in the series is to loosen up the back of your body, starting with the bottom of your feet. So we're going to roll the bottom of our feet out with a spiky ball. You'll roll the ball towards your heel, putting as much pressure as you can into it, and then release it a little bit as you move the ball back towards your toes. Roll towards your heels, and then release as you come back towards your toes. Really spreading out your toes, spreading out the tissue of your feet as if your feet are melting to the floor. Next, we want to try to release the fascia that's behind the lower leg by stretching the calf, and we want to do this in a way that also warms up the body and encourages movement. So we'll do calf raises on a step. Reach your heels down below the step, and then go up above the step. And reach down below, and up above. Next, we want to alternate the way the feet are working. So you will reach one heel down, and then the other. Alternating sides, really stretching the back of the leg and the ankle. So now, what we want to do is bend the knees so that we're really isolating the movement at the ankles. Your knees will be bent, and you'll reach your heel for the floor, and then your knees will move forward as you lift those heels up, isolating the movement in the lower leg. Reach your heels for the floor, and then lift those heels up, keeping your knees bent. Next, we have the clam. The clam is kind of skipping the hamstrings. We're going to stretch those next, but we want to work the hips a little bit. So you're going to lie on your side, squeeze your heels together, lift up that top knee, and then release. Lift up that top knee, and then release. Lift and release, keeping your hips stacked, making sure that your spine is as long as possible. After the clam, we want to stretch your hamstrings. So you're going to lie on your back, wrap your hands around the back of your thigh, hug your knee in towards your chest, and then press into your hands as you reach your heels for the ceiling. After this, we want to stretch the front of your hips. This exercise needs a magic circle and a log. You're going to place your pelvis on the log, and then you're going to wrap the magic circle around a foot that you hug towards you. And then straighten both legs, and then bend. Keeping the bottom foot as connected to the floor as you can, straighten and bend. This stretch is long because right now we're in parallel, but we're also going to open it out and cross the midline of the body. When you cross the midline, it's like you're making an X with your legs, stretching your lateral hamstrings and the inside of your hip flexor fascia. And then you're going to open out and across. You're going to lengthen one leg long beneath you out to the side and bend that leg. Now, the part that people get stuck in the Pilates roll-up is right as the ribs are trying to come off the ground. That's a very common place to get stuck. So we want to practice the ab curl just to that point and really work on lengthening the spine behind you so that it's easier to roll up. For the ab curl, you're going to inhale with your hands behind your head, and then exhale as you get all the air out of your lungs. Peel your head, neck, and shoulders away from the floor. Inhale while you're up there, and then exhale. See if you can place each vertebra in the ground, one vertebra at a time. Inhale at the bottom, exhale as you roll up just to that rib cage. Don't even try to go any farther. And then inhale at the top, exhale as you roll down. Next, we want to start moving the body in different planes of motion to release some of the muscles that might be holding the spine. You're going to start with the mermaid. Your feet will be in a Z-sit position, knees pointing in one direction, feet pointing in the other. And then you're going to reach one arm up towards the ceiling, and then lengthen your spine as you bend towards the side, making the longest possible arc. Reach up to the other side, stretch that side. Feel your waist lengthen as you're going from side to side. After you've finished the mermaid, it's time to lie on our backs again, so we can do some more stretches for the low back. Plant one foot in the ground, and then cross the other leg over the foot that's planted in the ground. Now, you'll drop your knees towards the foot that's on the ground, and open up the opposite arm away from it, as if you're making a nice diagonal line between your pinky finger and the opposite knee. You'll want to do both sides of this, of course, and so you'll just unwind by using your belly muscles and then bring your knees back up and switch sides. Next, we have the child's pose. This is another one that we can really use the breath to lengthen the tissues along the spine so that the spine has more freedom of movement. This exercise seems pretty passive, but I want you to be very active with the breath. I want you to inhale into the back of your rib cage and exhale as you release that rib cage. After you've been in the child's pose for a few breaths, walk your hands over to one side so that you can isolate the stretch in the ribs a little bit more. Inhale here into that side of the ribs where you feel more stretch, and then exhale, release. Of course, you'll do both sides on this one too, really expanding the ribs, moving the body, getting the diaphragm really working for you. The next exercise is the bridge. We have some segmental spinal movement, just almost the opposite of the roll-up, but now that we've really loosened the low back, you want to try this bridge to see how it feels. You'll inhale, and then exhale, hollow out your abdomen, reach your pubic bone through your knees as you roll up, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, and then exhale as you roll back down. Inhale at the top into your breastbone. Now this is the part where you can really find that connection to the ribcage. Soften your breastbone, feel your ribs reach for the ground as each vertebra reaches to the ground individually and on its own. Now, to get even more segmental movement of the spine, we want to do some figure eights. You're going to inhale at the bottom, exhale as you roll through the spine into the bridge. And then at the top, I want you to inhale and drop one hip towards the ground, pick it back up, inhale, and then exhale, drop the other hip towards the ground. And then inhale in the center, exhale, go down in one segment. The next exercise, you're going to use the foam roller to get more movement in your spine. You'll place the foam roller under the tips of your shoulder blades. Place your hands behind your head. And I want you to inhale as you lengthen your spine over the foam roller, opening up your chest. And then exhale. Lengthen your spine from both ends. Your tailbone lifts slightly. Your rib cage presses into the roller as you come into a nice C curve. Inhale, lengthen your spine over the roller. And then exhale back up. The next exercise, we're going to finish with this ball. You're going to let your body drape itself over a nice big ball. And then like the child's pose, you're going to breathe into your back and your belly. And then when you exhale, allow the ball to return to its original shape and just use the ball to stretch your spine. The best way to use this workout to improve your roll-up is to try it for 2 weeks without doing a single roll-up. Let your spine lengthen, let the segmental movement of your spine and the different planes of motion increase, and then try the roll-up. Let us know how it goes at the Pilates studio in Hadley.com.